Education is a human right, not a privilege, yet many places around the world don't see it as that. As a result, people cannot fully live up to their potential. People cannot expect growth and maturity if they are not educated. The right to education has 4 A's: available, accessible, acceptable, and adaptable. They were developed by the first UN Special Rapporteur on the right to education, Katarina Tomasewski. They were adopted by the Committee on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights in its General Comment 13 on the right to education. Available is making sure that education is free and trained teachers are able to supply education. Accessible is that education system is not discriminatory and accessible to all, and positive steps are taken to include the most marginalized. Acceptable is the content of education is relevant, non-discriminatory, and culturally appropriate. And equality, schools are safe and teachers are professional. Adaptable is education evolves with the changing needs of society and challenges inequalities such as gender discrimination. Education adapts to suit locally specific needs and contexts. There are also state obligations. The obligations are to respect, protect, and fulfill. Respect is to refrain from interfering with the enjoyment of the right. Protect prevents others from interfering with enjoyment of the right, usually through regulation and legal guarantees. Fulfill is to adopt appropriate measures towards the full realization of the right to education. Even though we have all these regulations to protect people's rights to education, millions of children all around the world do not have access to it. In developing and developed countries, children do not have access to basic education because of inequalities, because of sex, health, and cultural identity. Many children from disadvantaged backgrounds are forced to abandon their education due to health problems or to work and provide support for their family. Many countries do not have enough financial resources to get materials, great schools, and hire professional teachers. This leads to a shortage of teachers, so many classes are overflowed with children. This overflow leads to classes where many different educational levels are forced together, which does not allow each individual child to benefit from an education adapted to their needs and abilities. As a result, the dropout rate and education failure remain very high. As a result, poverty and marginalization, more than 72 million children around the world remain unschooled. Sub-Saharan Africa is the most affected area, and over 32 million children of primary school age remain educated. The lack of schooling and poor education has negative effects on the population and country. The children leave school without having acquired the basics, which greatly impedes the social and economic development of countries. Today, it is girls who have the least access to education. They make up more than 54% of the non-schooled population in the world. In many cultures, education is considered a privilege, and boys have the first priority, and girls are destined to stay at home and work. In sub-Saharan Africa, over 12 million girls are at risk of never receiving an education. In Yemen, it is more than 80% of girls who will never have the opportunity to go to school. However, there are ways the people can help. There are many organizations that take donations to build a better education for children. It is also important to learn about this problem and share it with people around you. The more people who are informed, the more people can help.